too bad, innit? Not too bad. Busy weekend of football. Seen a few games. Seen three games actually. Watched the three games on Sunday. And interesting to see how the leagues have started. I was having a chat with a few friends last week, and we sort of predicted who was going to win the leagues and who was going to be relegated, and them predictions have not been good at all. To be honest. Uh,
What
no, listen.
from the outset? Who are you thinking?
No, well,
Who are
I'll be
you?
honest with you. I thought Fermanagh had a big win against Longford. After Longford winning the O'Byrne Cup, I really thought, and with Mickey Quinn back, big Darren Gallagher, obviously McGervey and those boys and the Mullalockla boys are back on board. I just thought, Paddy Christie, new manager, I just thought there might be a bit of a boost there. Another team that shocked me was Meath. I'm
Yeah,
not going to lie. I thought Colin Marook would struggle, particularly with his sort of his honest opinions on the game of, kick it in early, etc., etc. I just feel, Cork with Kevin Walsh on board, I thought they would have been set up beautifully to actually counteract that type of style of football. But Cork seemed to have the old feelings, and I'd tip sort of Cork to come out of two as well, along with Dublin. And listen, Dublin weren't impressive either, Enda,
no,
uh,
no, no, no.
from it. And then Donegal has blown the whole Division One, relegation battle hit to pieces, because people were expecting Donegal to struggle, So
Well,
it's
just
interesting.
getting on to Division One, Stephen. Like you have obviously, like I suppose the Rossies obviously gives her. Look at, I think the score at the end, they got the goal to make it a 5 point game or a 6 point game in the end. Like it made it more look more comfortable than it was. But like Division One now, it'd be interesting. Who have you for Division One? Like who you think in terms of relegation there?
Well, I'm going to tell you a good story, Enda, about Roscommon, right? I was down in Roscommon, right, and this is what I'm like when it comes to predicting football. So June, I think it was June 2021, and the league had just finished, and we had lost. It was the North South divide. You remember the COVID year? So we had
Yeah,
Dublin, Derry, and Galway in our section. Lost all three games. Went to the athletic grounds. Was beat by Armagh. And the following week, we decided to do a training camp in Cavan, and we played Tyrone in a challenge match just before the championship kicked off. So it was actually Father's Day, and I was away all day, and it was a lovely, beautiful, sunny Sunday, and we put four goals past Tyrone up in Fermanagh, up in Rosslea, actually, Sean Quigley country. And
yeah,
I came down the road buzzing. We beat Tyrone 4-11 to like 113, and I was
yeah.
buzzing. I says, we're in a good place going into the championship here. And I went back to the house, and I met my father for Father's Day, and I sat down with a wee can of Carlsberg with him, and I said to him, Daddy, Tyrone are finished. And 3 months later, Enda Tyrone won the All Ireland. So that's where I'm in my predictions. You know what I mean? So no, listen, it's amazing what can happen with a bit of momentum. It's amazing what can happen with a bit of momentum. Tyrone beat Cavan, and then they had a bit of luck against Donegal that year and went on and won the All Ireland. Listen, fair play, though, they were proven to be the best team in the
But
country
it
that year.
wasn't. That was it was the Kerry debacle too in the league, Stephen. Not many people
Yeah,
would have seen that now. To be fair, like the Kerry gave them like one of them an
yeah.
awful height down in
Yeah, 6 goals. That
Killarney.
was the week before. That was the week before.
Was that?
Kerry put 6 goals past them, and we put four past them the following week in a challenge match. And you were just going away scratching your head, going, "Where do they go from there?" But it's mad too. And this is the point I'm going to make. You're talking about the Rossies. There's always been football, and as you very well know, there's always been football in Roscommon. They're a massive football in county. Donny and Enda are two lovely lads. They're two stalwarts of the team now. I seen Enda had a really positive game on Sunday. Donny came off the bench to make his 100th appearance. Great guys. Connor Hussey's back playing really well. Brian Stack's as good a defender as there is in Connacht, and probably doesn't get the recognition because he's the quiet man, as I would call him. He just goes about his business in a really, really quiet, dignified manner. You have the Dailies, who are the dogs of the team. They add that wee bit of steel and that wee bit of grit, and they proved it in the Connacht Club Championship last year with their own club. They're a very, very stubborn, hardy bunch of lads. And Niall's back; he's back fit and playing well. Their biggest problem, and I felt this year, was going to be middle of the field, especially with Ultan Horney away travelling. I thought Ultan would have been he's the heartbeat of the team, in my opinion. I thought he's a massive loss for them. But young Keith Doyle stepped up into the mark there. He had a great game on Sunday, and a really, really positive game. And up front, Roscommon have never been shy of forwards, as you know. Ben O'Carroll's burst onto the scene. Dara Craig, a fellow club mate of the two Smiths. So I thought Cian McKeown breaking his leg or getting a real serious injury. I thought he would have been a loss for them, up front. But this lad Ben O'Carroll and Dara Craig have really stopped that from the under 20s, and this
Well,
is great to see. They play some lovely stuff.
I play devil's advocate here now, Stephen. So, like, in terms of,
Yeah,
and I don't dispute anything you said there. In terms of Roscommon, is it, you know, every, I'm going to say they might win 2 or 3 Connachts every 10 years. That might be a bit too much to
yeah.
say, but uh, is it? They never seem to kick on then from Connacht. Do you know what I mean? Like in Connacht, they're very competitive. They're very very hard to beat, especially in the height. And you'll always, as you said, they have some really really good footballers. But then is it a case that they don't have the squad to go on? Is it a case that they're happy with a Connacht, or what is it like? What's their mindset? I
No, I think end of you've hit the nail on the head. I think consistency has been their biggest challenge, their biggest problem. Having that level of consistency ended to back up. Now this weekend will be very interesting, right? As much as it was a brilliant win, I thought Tyrone were very poor, right? I thought Tyrone underperformed. This is the test this week. They go to Salt Hill this week. Can they back up a win last week, with a really positive performance against Galway? Because over the last number of years, Galway have probably been their nemesis a little bit. Now, I know they beat Galway in a league final a Division Two league final, albeit last year,
yeah
but really and truly, both teams were shadow boxing that day. Both teams were shadow boxing that day, and they come to championship. Galway won comfortably. But I think, this is something that I spoke to Anthony Cunningham about. Anthony wanted to introduce an under 23 development squad with
mm,
Roscommon over the winter. And the
yeah
whole point was that for Roscommon to challenge at the top table, they need a conveyor belt of Ben O'Carroll's and Dara Craig's coming through, to keep that process going. Because I just
yeah
feel if Enda Smith got injured, if Brian Stack got injured, you're just sort of looking at their squad going, they probably don't have the strength and depth to replace those players. Kieran and
yeah
Damon Murder as well, two fine footballers, have been around the block a long time now. But I think that's their biggest challenge, Enda, is the consistency. And you're right in what you say. For me, that's one of the first questions I asked Enda and the boys when I went in. What is the glass ceiling here? And his words to me was like, we just want to get to an All Ireland semi final. They've never actually probably got to that last four, and like a Derry or a Galway, or even in recent years, Tipperary, and in the
yeah.
COVID year got to the last four. They've never actually just broke that glass ceiling, and.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. Like, so you're saying it's really, as you said, and why did the under 23 squad come in then? As in, did Anthony introduce that? Was that's one of the legacies he's left
Well,
behind?
that was one of the things he was doing. I know the likes of Padraig Mitchell and guys like that behind the scenes in Roscommon are doing a fierce amount of work around development squads and stuff. And there is a massive amount of work going on in Roscommon. They've got a lot of good things right. And their underage structure over the last few years has been very, very competitive, very, very consistent. But I think the biggest challenge, as you say, probably lies in their strength and depth in the squad. My worry was that when Roscommon lost, you know, 3 or 4 players, number 16 to 21 probably just wasn't as strong as number 16 to 21 in your Kerrys, your Tyrones, your Dublins, because we go back to Tyrone winning the All Ireland in 2021. It was their bench end that actually made the impact. The
Yeah,
likes of Tiernan McCann, Ronnie O'Neill, those guys coming on had a major impact. And then Tyrone sort of lost that quartet of a squad. They lost a lot of big names who were on the periphery, but people don't underestimate. And the way the game's played now, and you know yourself, the game has moved on massively. The strength conditioning in the game, the levels of physical conditioning, the way teams transition now from defence to attack, vice versa. And it's not 70 minutes; it's 80 plus now with injury time. You
yeah,
need a good squad. You need a good squad, and your substitutions are pivotal. We were actually talking about this. You nearly need to have a plan in place for your substitutions. When are you going to make those changes? In around about the 50th to 60th minute are key times for those changes to come in and really bring a freshness for the last 20 minutes.
Now, on that, I will say a lot. Some managers used to do that, and it used to fucking. Now, obviously, if you're on the team and you're getting whipped off after 50
Yeah,
minutes, they used to
yeah,
piss lads off to the no end. But I obviously, as you said there, it's an 80-minute game, it's a squad
yeah,
game now at this stage, and
yeah.
it is needed to freshen things up. But on